The following is a presentation of the Vol Network. Closed captioning provided by the University of Tennessee full-time MBA program. Learn, transform, lead. It all starts here. This is Tennessee football and the beginning of the Butch Jones era.
I want the whole city of Knoxville to know that it's football time in Tennessee.
For the next 60 minutes, you're tuned to the Vol Network, documenting the most storied program in college football. Welcome to the Butch Jones Show, hosted by Tennessee head football coach Butch Jones and the Vol Network's Bob Kessling. Brought to you by the one bank that backs the Big Orange like no other, First Tennessee, the official bank of the Vols. By your local Ford dealer. Go further on a Tennessee Saturday. Visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsors of UT football. By Dish, proud to be an official sponsor of the Big Orange. Catch the Vols on Dish. And by Farm Bureau Insurance. With agents in more communities than any other insurer, Tennessee turns to Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. Now, the Butch Jones Show.
You know, we're youthful in all areas of our football program. We're very, very young in terms of the learning curve. Young in terms of that learning curve of championship habits. You know, what it takes to really prepare yourself to go play on the road in a tough environment versus a tough opponent. Another great challenge, having to go on the road. We need to learn from our mistakes, learn from our experience, and continue to push forward and move forward.
Tennessee travels to Missouri to take on another ranked foe on a Saturday night. Coach, mistakes, some missed opportunities again plagued your football team in this game.
Well, I thought very early we never capitalized on the great field position that was presented to ourselves. And again, you know, it's all about creating your own opportunities, your own momentum. And so we start off like that, and then it's a line of scrimmage game, Bob, as we all know. And when you're not able to run the football, we had 90-plus yards rushing. We gave up over 300 yards to Missouri rushing the football, and that's inexcusable. And so right there, you don't give yourself an opportunity to win. And then, you know, the discipline part of it, we pride ourselves in being a disciplined football team. And, you know, some of the penalties that we had were untimely. They were costly, put us behind the sticks a little bit. And when you go on the road, you can't make those mistakes.
How do you think your freshman quarterback Joshua Dobbs handled it?
I was very encouraged. You know, again, it's going to be a maturation process as he continues to develop throughout the course of the rest of the season. But, you know, there's some things he needs to learn. You know, run out of bounds, you know, right at the end of the half. If we could get points on the board, we go in the locker room with some momentum, and he's trying to make a play. And then the one we'll see on the highlights coming up, it's 1st and 10, and we throw a deep ball, and it's not there. Hey, throw it out of bounds, and let's play 2nd and 10. But overall, I thought he had great command performance. He was very poised and very collected, and I was extremely encouraged.
This week you got some good news on the academic front. I know that's been a big point of emphasis and focus, but the APR was very, very good. You might explain a little bit to the Tennessee fans what APR means and how well Tennessee did with that.
Well, I called it the greatest victory in the history of Tennessee football, and people within our industry, within the coaching circles, understand that that's a monumental feat that we just, you know, were able to get over, and a lot is attributed to our coaching staff, to our players. We had a perfect score of 1,000. You know, our Thornton Center and our whole entire athletic administration led by Dave Hart. And basically, it could have been catastrophic to our football program. It's based off of retention rates of your student athletes, and UConn has gone through that with basketball. And if you fall below a certain number, 930, and we had 1,000, which is a perfect score. But if you fall below that rate over a period of time, you have a bowl sanction. You're not able to go to a bowl game, and you lose scholarships. And it really doesn't come out until June. But what has happened and transpired is every one of our competitors is looking to gain a competitive advantage in the recruitment process against Tennessee. And we were able to accomplish that feat. It's a thing of the past, and I think that's a tribute to again, everyone involved, but also that academics are the forefront of our football program, and that would have put us back years. And I knew that there was an issue here. Dave Hart and I met on that on December 7th, the day of the press conference. I knew it going into the interview process, but I was very confident because I saw the plan that our administration had in place, and we executed that plan. Dr. Joe Scoggin as well deserves a great compliment.
But it kind of sets the bar of when you come to Tennessee, we expect you to go to class, expect you to get your degree, and that's just a given.
Well, we have great academics here, and we have a standard and an expectation, and everything is about championship habits, and when you win off the field, you win on the field, and that's a byproduct of each other, and our players have done a great job. Again, with a coaching transition to have a perfect score in the APR, that doesn't happen around the country.
That's kind of the brick by brick thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now we need to continue to progress and get better on the football field.
Tennessee and Missouri played Saturday night. We'll look at that game and have much more coming up next here on the Butch Jones Show.
Our Adidas Fall Scholar of the Week is Alden Hill. The redshirt freshman running back and special team standout from Alliance, Ohio, majors in graphic design.
I'm majoring in graphic design here at Tennessee, and I chose it because I've always enjoyed art and always partaken in it as a kid and a student. Misconception that it's pretty easy because it's just drawing and stuff like that, but it's not at all. You got to put a lot of time in the studio outside of football, and that's very hard to meet with football demands.
Hill hopes to piggyback his interests into a career in advertising.
Alden's one of those unique student athletes that really has a passion for the uncommon major. Graphic design, working in the School of Art requires a lot of studio time, so he's got to balance a lot of demands in terms of keeping his football schedule along with his schedule over in art and architecture. Combining his passion with advertising in the business world, he's really using a lot of resources to set himself up for future success.
Congratulations to Alden Hill, our Adidas Fall Scholar of the Week.
Tennessee played its first ever game in the state of Missouri as they traveled to Columbia on Saturday night to face a very good Missouri football team that was really trying to bounce back after a loss to South Carolina. They can still win the East, so they were very motivated.
Well, very motivated to play. And I thought our players were motivated to play as well. We just, it's part of that process. We were motivated to play, but the focus, the overall discipline. And, as a football coach, the one things that we cannot tolerate are penalties and lack of effort. And I thought that we played for the most part with very, very, very good effort. But the discipline in terms of the penalties, we have to get corrected in a hurry. We have officiating crews at our practices, every practice. And we've showed by a body of work this whole year that we've been a disciplined football team. And again, it's going on the road and having that focus.
But it was jumping off sides or flinching and those things.
Pre-snap penalties kill you. And that's one of our pet peeves in our football program. We harp on it, we talk about it, and it's just focus, but also when you're playing a disruptive front like them, it's that mindset. And again, we learned some valuable lessons of continuing to move forward.
Sellout crowd, standing room only at Memorial Stadium on a Saturday night in Columbia, Missouri. And we pick up action with Joshua Dobbs getting his first start at quarterback.
Well, again, second drive of the game, and you can look, we get into a rhythm, but, again, it's 1st and 15, so we're behind the sticks already, but, we hand the ball off to Marlon Lane, and he makes a good run. He tries to be physical on the sideline with the lift drill, and he picks up 11, and then we're going to come right back to Marlon here. This is a run-pass option, and, again, we'd like to see a little more burst there, but a first down. And Bob, it's a simple game. It's based on how you play. It's how you compete. It's how you're able to play with the discipline and execution to do your job. Alton Howard is really, really getting better, but we get back to doing your job. It's 4th and 5. We go for it, and this is one of the throws Josh wishes he had back. And now we come back. We have to get off the field. We really haven't stopped. We got 5 guys in position, and everything is about angles. And we basically give them 7 points instead of a field goal there.
So it's 7-0 Missouri, and Dobbs hits Marquez North.
I thought Marquez North played exceptionally well again. He's another true freshman who's continuing to get better and better. I thought his run after the catch and being physical was outstanding. Here's another element that Josh brings to the table on the zone read, the keep, and does a great job of getting the ball north and south once he finishes the first line of defense.
He's very deceptive with the ball, too. He's very good on the field.
Well, he was decisive, and that's what we need from our quarterbacks with the zone read series. Again, a play-action pass does a great job of finding Alton Howard here.
I think Howard had 11 catches on the night.
Well, again, he's been a model of consistency. And then, what can I say about Michael Pilardi? He wasn't even supposed to participate in the game. He had back spasms starting on Thursday. And, everyone, our training staff did a tremendous job of really getting him game ready.
Field position, trying to keep Missouri pinned up, that was part of it.
Well, you can see, where they're punting in, early first half. First and early in the second quarter, we had great field position, and now you have to take advantage of that.
So Tennessee now gets Dobbs again on another completion to pick Howard.
Again, the catch, tuck, turn, which you talk about, get ready to play pound. Again, Alton Howard is playing really good football for us, good protection, and I thought Josh had great pocket presence playing against a disruptive front of Missouri.
Dobbs 26 of 42 on the night.
Again, right here, just inexcusable miscommunication, and we give them 7 points in the back end of our defense, and again, it can't happen.
The inability to run the ball consistently, though, was a problem on Saturday night.
Well, again, it's a high level of consistency, and you're exactly right. And again, here you see Josh pulling the football again. It's 17-0, but we're going down. Now we have 3 points in our back pocket. Let's make sure we at least come away with 3, but we're working to get 7.
And here's one of the critical plays in the game.
Well, again, I thought this really changed the momentum of the game. Again, it's all about a maturation process going up. It's 17-7. You go in at halftime, you flip momentum. But it didn't happen, but it was great to see Michael comes in and kicks a 51-yard field goal and gets points on the board.
So we go to the third quarter. Missouri leading 24-3. Dontavis Sapp, who's had a very solid season, makes another big play here.
Again, we're still playing with effort. We're still playing with energy. We're getting to the football. And again, it's all about what you do with the opportunities that you have. And Sapp has done a great job for us. Again, Michael Pilardi back, again, flipping field position and does a great job. I think this is one of the best plays of the year. You can see J.R. Carr does a phenomenal job at downing the football.
And you watch the replay again, it's where the ball is, not where your feet or anybody else is. And look at JR's effort to keep that thing an inch from the goal line.
Again, a great effort. So right now, we have to get out the field. We have a coming out situation, and we do a great job. Again, we're going to get the ball in great, tremendous field position.
And Deveron Young, back to return the kick, gets a good run, but Coach, again, a block in the back right there.
First time we've had all year. And all the experiences that we've had to this point, positive and negative, should reinforce what we're trying to build in terms of a mentality, an attitude, character, and overall discipline of really what it takes to play at a high level, a championship level. And this is one of those experiences right here, Bob. It's 1st and 10. Hey, Josh, throw the ball away. Let's play 2nd and 10, and we have great field position. Again, those are all phases of the maturation of a quarterback that will continue to drive into them and work. But again, going back to Marquez North, I thought he really attacked the football and did a great job of really finishing his plays. Here's a quarterback draw. Again, Josh, as we keep saying, brings another element to our offense.
And this is a 4th down, or a quick slant this time to Marquez North, as Tennessee trying to recover from a penalty in this drive. This is 4th and 6, and Dobbs trying to get a first down.
Right, another learning experience is 4th and 6, scramble drill. You got to work to make a play to get that first down.
So Dobbs comes up short, as does Tennessee, 31-3 of the Missouri Tigers. Good Missouri team, but I know that you felt like in this game the penalties and just not being able to cash in when you had a chance really turn the game around.
We'll go back today and we'll evaluate every football play. And we evaluate every football play on effort, on toughness. Was it a scheme issue? Was it a coaching flaw? Was it a communication flaw? Or was it just lack of ability? And we'll evaluate all those plays. And again, it's playing up to a standard. And when you're building a football program like this, our players have to understand the standard and the expectation, and we pride ourselves in being a team that does not beat itself. And, obviously the penalties, but we have to go back. You talked about consistency. We have great field position. When you're on the road or even next week against Auburn, we have to take advantage of field position.
Has this demanding schedule taken its toll on this football team, do you think?
Well, it's been a grind, to say the least, but I'm not here for excuses. You know, we're here for results. We live in a result-oriented world. It's a week-to-week season that we live in. There has been some challenges. You know, I think we're dealing with the realities of a football season. We're going through the adversities that's associated with every football season, whether it be your schedule, whether it be injuries, whether it be just keeping your team together. We're going through that. Every football team goes through that. Now it's how we respond. You know, I asked our seniors quite simply, what are you going to bring to Team 117 to make November something that we remember? We're still playing for a lot. We're playing for a bowl game. We have to get Tennessee football back. The first step is continuing to improve, but getting back to a bowl game as well. So our players understanding that, hey, it was disappointing. We're extremely disappointed, but we're not discouraged. Let's go back to work. Let's find a way. We have 3 opportunities, and let's get to a bowl game.
Come back, we'll have a feature on Tennessee defensive tackle Daniel McCullers here on the Butch Jones Show.
Like Mount LeComte or Old Rocky Top, Tennessee defensive tackle Dan McCullers stands above the competition.
Dan McCullers is a powerful, mean, aggressive athlete that when he's on his game and he's angry and he's ready to play, he's unstoppable.
Carolina at its own 12. Davis out of the shotgun, back to throw. Shaw back to throw. Big pressure, steps up and sacked. McCullers got him at the 10. And now they snap the ball to Murphy before he's ready. He hits off his face mask, bounces forward. Now a scramble for the ball, and I think Tennessee's got it. And who comes out of there with it? Daniel McCullers.
I'm a physical player. I do get a great push in the middle. I do a good job at helping stop the run and, penetrating and helping my defense make some plays.
Using his immense stature and strength, the senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, has answered Butch Jones's challenge leading into the season.
It's a line of scrimmage league, and I'll say it, we'll be as good as Dan McCullers goes.
He knows what I'm capable of, and I can be a great player. So, I just take everything he says to me and just take it all in and just try to, put it on the field because he knows what he's talking about, and he just pushes me every day just to become a better player. And I'm working toward that. Everything he's done from the winter until now has shown us a lot of his character. He's taken the coaching. He's done everything that we've asked him to do, from the coaches to players as well, and he's really thriving on his defense.
Thinking about running the ball into the middle of the Tennessee line? Well, watch out for Big Dan.
He's unstoppable. Haven't seen a person in America that can stop Dan McCullers when he really wants to get the job done.
They'll try him again, going right. This time he's hit by Daniel McCullers and slammed to the turf. Right at the line of scrimmage, Jones thought he ran into a brick wall.
Just run to the ball and swarm, get that extra effort, and push to the quarterback and, get that push for the defensive ends and everybody else to make plays. It's a huge point of emphasis. We have to have somebody in the middle that can get a good push and that can disrupt the middle and make the ball bounce to the outsides, go east-west so our defenders can get there.
For the Butch Jones Show, I'm Rick Russo.
Dan, indeed, is a big imposing force in the middle of that Tennessee line.
He is, and we've really challenged him. He's going through that process right now, really learning what it takes to be a 3-down defensive tackle. And the effort and the strain and the consistency and performance that's required to be the best of the best in the country. And we push him each and every day. And the great thing about Dan is he's very, very quiet by nature, but he listens to everything you say.
Dan McCullers, one of the keys factors in the Tennessee defensive front. Now let's get a check on social media with Sarah Mitchell.
There were so many great Media Mash pictures posted this week, so let's jump right in with some highlights of a few Halloween fans. These two little guys sported their Rocky Top practice gear, and Coach Jones said that the best costume went to equipment manager Minnie Hawk. And it looks like a reenactment of Coach Jones, Farmer Charlie, and the Brick Mailbox commercial. Tennessee Chad shows off the clever brick-by-brick costumes these guys posed as for Halloween. Cody Blank, Tyler Page, LaTroy Lewis, and Jacquez Smith enjoyed passing out candy at Halloween to some young Tennessee fans. This next photo captures the creative side of Michael Green as he hits the road with his specialized smoky gray and orange volunteer tennis shoes. And finally, the buzz about the Bulletproof video continues. This VFL Inky Johnson narrated feature was viewed nearly 100,000 times in less than 24 hours. Nice work, Barry Rice and VFL Films. That wraps up this week's Vol Football Media Mash. Next week we host Auburn, so tag me in your best homecoming pictures on Twitter @SarahUTK, and we'll choose the best pictures for next week's show. Don't go away, the Butch Jones Show will be right back.
$295 of us have played in the NFL. And yeah, that's more than any other SEC team. 2 of us were the #1 pick. There are actually 35 Tennessee Vols on active NFL rosters today. Lots of us went to the Super Bowl. Lots to the Pro Bowl. This year alone, 6 were there. 2 of us are already in the Hall of Fame, and I'd say more are on the way. But the number we really wanted to share with you is 44. It's not so much a number as a tradition. See, that's how many Tennessee Volunteers have been drafted in the NFL's first round. And so, from the 43 of us to the new guy, welcome to the club. Number 44.
With the 29th pick in the 2013 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Cordero Patterson, wide receiver, Tennessee.
Patterson's made a mark in the NFL this year with the Minnesota Vikings, but it's a good long list of great players that have come through Tennessee.
Well, with the video, and you look at the long line of first-round draft picks, and we're exceptionally proud of that. And we wish we had Patterson's skills this year. But you saw the kickoff return a couple weeks ago, and he's playing exceptionally well, and he's representing Tennessee in a first-class manner right now.
When we come back, we'll ask the coach here on the Butch Jones Show.
Time out to check the stats. Brought to you by Dish.
The Tennessee teams truly have had home field advantage in the steep history of the football program. Check the stats. The Vols won 55 home games without a loss from 1925 to 1933. In a span of more than 8 years, Vol fans never saw their beloved team lose a game on Shields-Watkins Field. In those 55 games, Robert Nealon's Chargers outscored opponents 1,510 to 137.
Check the stats. Only from Dish do you get the Hopper Whole Home HD DVR. Learn more at dishvols.com. Catch the Vols on Dish, official sponsor of the Big Orange.
It's time now for Ask the Coach, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Currently serving Vol fans with 7 Tennessee locations and online 24/7 at academy.com.
Coach Jones, here's our first question. This is from Chad Ray. How do you address the amount of penalties from the Missouri game?
Well, we'll continue to have a full officiating crew at practice, and we run for our penalties right after practice. I really believe in immediate rewards or reprimands as soon as it happens. So we'll continue to address those. Our players understand that's part of the plan to win. We'll go back on Monday. We'll watch a penalty video in our team meeting where everyone watches it, and they understand that. And the sad thing is that we don't make those mistakes in practice. We have the crowd noise popped in and all that, so it's a matter of just focus when you get to the game time.
I have another question for Coach Jones. This comes from Byron Ayers. What specific things do you want to see Josh Dobbs improve this week?
I think just a high level of consistency in performance, being able to make the routine throws over and over again, and then managing the game and taking care of the football.
One thing that did not happen in the Missouri game was turnovers. You couldn't force turnovers from Missouri. For this Tennessee team to win, you've got to do a better job of that in these upcoming games.
Absolutely. We have to be opportunistic, and I always say is, turnovers, when you force a team to fumble, is direct correlation to your physicality as a football team. We have to get much more physical this week.
Big matchup, though, with Auburn Saturday at noon.
Should be a great game, another great challenge, a spread offense, a running quarterback, and again, a team that's coming in with a lot of confidence and a lot of belief behind what they're doing. And I know our kids have been extremely resilient, and we're looking back to being home.
Coach, thanks for your time. We'll see you Saturday against Auburn.
Thank you.
Coach Butch Jones with us, and we'll talk to Antone Davis, the director of the Vol for Life program, next here on The Butch Jones Show.
Top 5, brought to you by Hyundai.
Mock, he's going to keep it going right this time, but Tennessee gets him and drops him back at the 47-yard line.
I see we had a great pass rush. I just chased him down from behind.
Dobbs back to throws, got some time, winds up, fires long, left sideline, and that pass is going to be caught at the Missouri 48-yard line. Big Howard makes a great catch. Pickup of 17 yards. It's going to be short of the first down.
They sit in the house, they blitz, and the backfield of it was open, so I got in the quarterback vision, and he hit me.
Velarde stands back at his own 34 to punt it away. Another high spiral, and it's going to bounce at the 5, stop dead in its tracks, and Tennessee trying to keep it out of the end zone as they dive at it at the goal line. It just stopped at the 3 and then rolled ahead, and Tennessee was able to cover it and keep it out of the end zone. A 51-yard punt. As again, Tennessee with great coverage. It was J.R. Carr.
Like Mike says, punt's the first play of D. He did a great job hanging it up, letting the defense get down there. Ball popped back up. We were lucky enough to have a few guys, I think, stop him from rolling in. I was just lucky enough to go ahead and cover it down inside the 1.
Velarde, his longest 44 on the season. He kicks that one a field goal, and that kick is good from 51. Just over the crossbar. Michael Velarde gets Tennessee on the board.
I went out in the field pretty confident. Just hitting the ball like I know how to. That was the biggest thing, and it kind of worked out in my favor. And I hit it pretty well. And I don't know how much I cleared it by, but I felt like I hit it pretty well.
Dobbs keeps it, goes around the right side, and Dobbs down the far sideline and finally shoved out of bounds deep in Missouri territory.
Top 5 plays from Tennessee's game against the Missouri Tigers. Now joined by John Bryce of VolQuest.com. And our guest coach tonight, member of the coaching staff, is Antone Davis, who's in charge of the Vol for Life program. Antone, you're doing a great job with it. Everybody sees these VFL pins. You have one on your lapel right now. But talk about this program and how important it is to the Tennessee program.
Well, I think the program itself is extremely important. When you think about what we're actually trying to do, we're trying to make sure that all of our players, all of our current players are prepared for life after football. And that really sums it up. What more can we do? Not everyone's going to go to the NFL. We have to make sure that we follow all the steps to make sure these young men will be successful in the community and in the job force once they leave football.
Antone, you've evolved the program in a number of really interesting ways. You've added the voter registration drive. You've been very involved with the players in terms of honoring members of their families with breast cancer awareness and things like that. Just talk about how you've grown the program.
Well, it's just important for our players to be exposed to all these different things. It's important for them to understand the importance of voting. It's important for them to understand that when you go and do a community service event, it's not just an event for you to show up and look pretty. It's for you to learn from. It's for you to realize the impact that you have on our community. So our players get just as much out of it as the people in the community do.
You know, sometimes people think, well, they're just sending these athletes out. It's a photo op. But, I mean, you have them building houses with Habitat for Humanity. You got them at the Boys and Girls Club, helping those kids on a daily basis. And with their practice schedules and their study, I mean, it's demanding, but they also, I think, get a lot out of it once they get there and see exactly the impact they make on a young kid.
That's exactly right. We have our young men everywhere. There are places we actually request that there's no media coverage because that's not what it's about, but it's important for them to get out. And so that's exactly what we're trying to do every week. And the greatest thing about it is all the players that go out are voluntary. We don't make our players go anywhere. So that way we know that when the player goes, number one, he's going to show up, and number two, he wants to be there and he wants to be a part of it.
Anton, you were wearing the VFL pin. You referenced that. The South Carolina game was VFL weekend, a huge weekend for this program, one of the better weekends that it's had in a long time. Talk about the work that you put into that, and then also just the overwhelming response that you did get from former VFLs.
You know what? That was a labor of love. I mean, it was a case where I wound up talking personally to over 250 players and talking to them about coming back and just creating this experience for them. I just wanted them to be able to come back one more time, participate in the Vol Walk, run through the T, and then as I was involved in it, I realized there are players who've never actually run through the T. So when you talk about a Pat Shires and people like that getting the opportunity to do that, it meant the world. The former players are crying as they run through the T. The current players understand the value of it, and so they're hugging these guys. It was just a special moment, and I think guys will never forget it.
Indeed, it's good to see the old players back on the field, also at Neyland Stadium. We'll continue with Anton Davis in a moment here on the Butch Jones Show.
It's time to announce the AutoZone player of the game. Get in the zone, AutoZone. In the zone for Tennessee was Pig Howard. The sophomore from Orlando, Florida, had a career-high 11 catches for a career-high 89 yards and a long catch of 17. Congratulations to Pig Howard, our AutoZone player of the game. AutoZone, proud sponsor of the Vols. Parts are just part of what they do.
We're back with Anton Davis, the Vol for Life coordinator with the Tennessee Volunteers. Of course, Anton was an All-American offensive lineman at Tennessee, went on to the NFL, had a great career for a decade or so. And when you walk through the halls and the guys look at you, the guys of the current team, do they ever come up to you and say, hey, how'd you do this and how to get into the NFL and all those type things?
You know, it's kind of funny. They do. Players all the time kind of ask me questions, they ask me tips, and you know it's kind of a running joke right now. One player asked me recently, he said, should we go into this meeting? And because they had the option to go into the meeting and not, and I said, well, I went and I'm an All-American. What should you do? So, but I tell them all the time, you know, I say, you know what, you need to go, you need to do it, you need to be in it. The players are still learning how to win, learning how to practice, and learning how to carry themselves. And I just kind of give them a little 2 cents here and there every now and then.
You know, you were different, though. When you were here, you knew that you might have an opportunity to play in the NFL, but you also knew you had to get your degree, and that was the most important thing because then you went into business when your NFL career was over.
No question about it. That was my goal, is to get my degree. No one was going to prevent me from doing that, and I wanted to get it done, and in fact, I got it done early so that I could make sure that when I left here, I had something solid. I didn't know what the NFL would bring. You know, Coach Fulmer kept us so strung out. You weren't sure if you could even start other places. But I knew I had to get that degree, and I did. So.
Anton, we earlier referenced the Beads of Courage. I think you guys have another program planned for the Vanderbilt game. Just what's on tap for the team to participate in that?
It's another opportunity for our players. Beads of Courage is a program where our players will actually carry a bead, physically carry one on their person during a game, and then that bead then will be given to a young child that's perhaps battling cancer or heart disease. But we did a pilot of that program for the Georgia game. We had 6 players carry the beads. This time we're going to have the entire team carry the beads. We're also going to involve the cheerleaders. So it's just a great thing. It's an opportunity for you to carry a bead, write a note of encouragement to a young child, and lift the spirits of that young child who's probably been through so much.
You know, it's amazing, Anton, when you see a kid in a Tennessee or a young man in a Tennessee football jersey walk into the hospital, and I've been there numerous times, and you see the faces of those little kids that are battling for their lives just light up. Makes it pretty rewarding, doesn't it?
And you never know. You know, I had someone literally tell me yesterday, right before the game, that there was a young man, a young lady who just got 14 years old, just got diagnosed with cancer, and her mom just became a single mom, and it was just a tough time in their family. And then in walked these Tennessee players the same day she got diagnosed, and it just really made her day, made her feel well. And I tell the players all the time, you have to understand the impact that you're having on these young people.
Anton, I see you out on the practice field. I see you interacting, with the guys in the hallways and things like that. How much has this position just sort of reinvigorated you?
I love this position. I mean, I think it's the greatest job on earth. I mean, to be able to impact. I want to coach. It's in me to coach. But I can impact the lives of these young men so much more in this position, in this role, just by being there, just by understanding, just by knowing what they've been through, because I've been there and done that. And I can tell them, sometimes I have tough conversations, hard conversations. You have to do A, B, and C. You can't do it like that, no matter how you feel. So just to be able to have that input and pour into their lives on a daily basis, it's a great thing.
And, of course, your office is right in the middle of where all the meeting rooms are, so if they've got a problem, they know where to find you.
Absolutely. They know where to find me, and I also keep a big bowl of candy in there if I can lure them in that way as well. So, absolutely.
Anton, always good to see you. Thanks for what you're doing with the Vol for Life program.
Thank
You're doing
you.
a great job.
Thank you.
Anton Davis, former Tennessee All-American offensive lineman, and we'll look ahead next here on the Butch Jones Show.
It's time for the First Tennessee First Look, a scouting report and look ahead at the Vol's upcoming opponent. Brought to you by First Tennessee Bank, the official bank of the Vols.
Auburn Tigers come to town on Saturday to take on Tennessee. Nick Marshall has been one of the impact players in this league at quarterback for them.
Nick Marshall returned from injury, and the Tigers win at Arkansas. Had about 200 total yards of offense, a 90-yard touchdown pass. But the key in that game was Trey Mason. He tied a school record with 4 rushing touchdowns. Auburn leading the SEC in rushing, up there among the national leaders. That's going to be the first test. The first and foremost is going to be Tennessee's ability to slow down the run, particularly on the heels of what Missouri did.
Yeah, I was going to say, after what Matty Mock did to Tennessee, stopping the quarterback and containing him's got to be a point of emphasis this week.
It's going to be a point of emphasis, especially as athletic as Marshall is, and it's been a point of emphasis. The offense also has to help out Tennessee's defense, stay on the field longer, sustain some more drives, and not get behind the chains as much, run the football much better. I think Tennessee only had 24 rushing plays against Missouri, and with a freshman quarterback, the offense has to stay on the field longer.
Your thoughts on Joshua Dobbs' first game?
I thought he was relatively impressive. He made some typical freshman mistakes, but I also thought that he showed a lot of moxie. He went through his progressions a few times. He didn't seem fazed by the moment at all. I saw him on the field in pregame, taking the ball between his legs, sort of doing some basketball drills and then throwing some tosses, taking target practice at the goalpost, he and Riley Ferguson both. So I thought he had the very good demeanor, the very right demeanor that the team needed.
He's remarkably poised for an 18-year-old young man.
You couldn't tell any difference in Joshua Dobbs coming off the field after leading a key field goal drive when the game was still in doubt at Missouri, or when he had committed one of those 3 costly turnovers. So very, very good demeanor. His teammates love him. The offensive linemen love him. The receivers love him. They feel like they've got a chance to do something on every single play.
Well, I think the coaching staff and the players all understand the mathematics of all of this. 3 games left, and Tennessee needs to win 2 of them to get to a bowl game.
It's no accident that Butch Jones has publicly stated the bowl game goal, both last week after the loss at Alabama, again reiterating it this week after the loss at Missouri. It's a very deliberate challenge to his team. It's been the team's goal since the outset of the season. And him asking the seniors what they want to be remembered by. Juwan James telling me last night in postgame that we don't want, I've seen it around here a lot the last few years, we want to be different. We want to hold ourselves to a higher standard. That's the right approach. That's the approach that Tennessee needs.
Tennessee was not able to control the line of scrimmage against Missouri effectively. They're going to have to do that against Auburn because Auburn's a very physical football team.
Yeah, and Arkansas was able to control the line of scrimmage a little bit against the Tigers, held an 8-minute time of possession, whereas Tennessee had a 7.5-minute time of possession deficit at Missouri. That's got to be flip-flopped. Tennessee's got to win the turnover battle, and the Vols have to keep their offense on the field, both for the offense's sake and it helps the defense.
You know, it's remarkable. You talk to people around the country, and they look at the Tennessee schedule, and they say ranked team, ranked team, ranked team, ranked team. It has been a remarkable run, and you just look at Tennessee and think, can they keep it going? Can they fight this thing through to the end of November?
I'm trying to study the history. I can't imagine, though, since the BCS was invented in 1998, that there's ever been another team that's played 5 consecutive BCS opponents ranked in the top 14 of the BCS. And that's what Tennessee's in the midst of. The Vols, just like Butch Jones said, have to fight through it and find a way to get bowl eligible.
So Tennessee's next challenge is Auburn, Saturday at Neyland Stadium. It's a noon kickoff. There are good seats available at uttix.com. We'll have the broadcast for you at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central Time, and hope you join us then. Also, hope you join us next week here on the Butch Jones Show. For John Bryce, for Coach Butch Jones, I'm Bob Kessling. We'll see you next week.
This has been a presentation of the Vol Network, produced by IMG, the world's premier sports, media, and entertainment company. For more coverage of this week's game, be sure to watch the Vol Network's 2-hour game replay. Check local listings. Produced at the Huster Broadcast Center.